107 years of American work trucks. 10 vehicles that didn't just carry loads, they carried a country. From the first purpose-built pickup to roll off an American assembly line, to the machine that redefined what a work truck could do in the desert at triple-digit speeds. These are the most iconic American work trucks of all time. Counting down from number 10. A note before the countdown. This list is not ranked by sales numbers alone. It is ranked by historical significance, by which trucks changed what America expected from a work vehicle, set new standards, launched new categories, or became cultural symbols that outlasted their production runs. Some sold millions. Some sold fewer than 3,000. All of them are irreplaceable pieces of American automotive history. The American work truck is one of the most consequential inventions in the country's history. It replaced the horse-drawn wagon. It built the interstate highway system. It seeded the suburbs. The 10 trucks on this list are the ones that defined each era of that story. They were born as working machines. They became icons. Counting down. Before number 10, subscribe and drop your prediction for number 1 in the comments. The truck at number 1 didn't just become America's best-selling vehicle, it became America's vehicle, period. And back to the countdown. Number 10. The Ford Model TT. Introduced in 1917, the Model TT was Ford's first purpose-built commercial truck, and the first viable pickup truck produced by a major American manufacturer. Based on the Model T but fitted with a longer wheelbase, a heavier frame, and a worm-drive rear axle rated for 1-ton payloads, the Model TT was designed to replace the horse-drawn delivery wagon for American farms and businesses. Ford celebrated 100 years of truck history in 2017, tracing the lineage directly to this vehicle. The Model TT was sold as a chassis cab. Buyers purchased the truck, and then had an aftermarket body fitted for their specific purpose. Farmers built flatbeds. Merchants installed box beds. Utilities added equipment racks. This adaptability established the template that every American work truck would follow for the next century. A capable, configurable platform that the owner could put to work in any way required. The Model TT remained in production until 1928. It established Ford as the dominant force in commercial vehicle production in the United States and laid the foundation for every F-Series truck that followed. Number 10. Number 9. The Chevrolet Advanced Design 3100. Introduced on June 28, 1947. The Advanced Design was the first completely redesigned General Motors truck of the post-war era, arriving 6 months before GM applied major styling changes to any of its passenger cars. From 1947 to 1955, Chevrolet trucks were the #1 selling truck line in the United States. The 3100 was powered by a 216 cubic inch Thriftmaster inline-6 producing 90 horsepower. The cab offered 3 adults abreast on the bench seat, a glove box, an AM radio as an option for the first time in a Chevrolet truck, and a heater defroster. These were features working Americans had never found in a truck before. The Advanced Design's rounded, elegant styling has made it one of the most coveted classic trucks in America. Its silhouette is instantly recognizable, appearing in period films, television, and advertising as the definitive image of post-war American optimism. Number 9. Number 8. The Dodge Power Wagon. Introduced in 1946, the Power Wagon was the first civilian production four-wheel drive truck offered by a major American manufacturer. Mechanically derived from Dodge's wartime WC Series military trucks, the Power Wagon arrived in showrooms in March 1946, with a gross vehicle weight rating of 8,700 pounds and a maximum payload of 3,000 pounds. Its full-time four-wheel drive, heavy-duty frame, and military-grade axles made it capable of terrain and conditions that no other civilian vehicle could match. Ranchers, foresters, oil field workers, and municipal road crews used it for decades. United States sales ended in 1968 when it failed to meet new federal light-duty truck regulations. The Power Wagon name was revived on the Ram 2500 in 2005, and for the 2021 model year, Ram celebrated the Power Wagon's 75th anniversary with a special edition. every serious off-road work truck built since 1946 owes its existence to this machine. Number 8. Number 7. The Ford F-100. For the 1953 model year, Ford redesigned its truck lineup and introduced the naming system still in use today. The half-ton became the F-100, the three-quarter-ton became the F-250, the one-ton became the F-350. Now, the F-100 featured a new cab with 55% larger windshield glass and a completely updated chassis. Price at introduction, $1,330 to $1,611. The 1953 F-100 was the last Ford truck to offer the flathead V8 in the United States. For 1954, Ford introduced the overhead valve Y-block V8, rated at 130 horsepower, nicknamed the Power King. By 1960, over 500,000 F-100s were operating across the American landscape. The F-100 was produced until 1983. Its 1967 to 1972 bump side generation is among the most collected and restored trucks in American history. At number 7, the F-100 is the direct ancestor of the vehicle that became America's best-selling truck of all time. Number 7. Number 6. The Chevrolet C10, 1967 to 1972. The second generation of Chevy's C/K truck series represented a full ground-up redesign that established the template for the modern American full-size pickup. The 1967 C10 introduced a wider cab with 4 additional inches of interior room and, most significantly, a rear suspension system based on coil springs mounted on long trailing arms, stabilized by a panhard bar. That rear coil spring suspension setup was so well engineered that NASCAR's Cup Series cars used a virtually identical design until 2021. Over 50 years after it debuted on a half-ton pickup truck, the 1971 Cheyenne trim level brought passenger car comfort to the work truck segment for the first time. The 1967 to 1972 C10 is today among the most valuable classic trucks in America, commanding 6-figure prices at auction. The platform's influence on how Americans think about trucks, capable, comfortable, and stylish simultaneously, is felt in every pickup on the road today. Number 6. Number 5. The GMC Cyclone. Built for one model year in 1991, the Cyclone was a compact pickup that outperformed nearly every sports car on the American market. And powered by a turbocharged 4.3-liter V6, producing 280 horsepower and 350 pound-feet of torque, mated to an all-wheel drive system, the Cyclone accelerated from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 4.3 seconds, quicker than a Ferrari 348 and a Porsche 911 Turbo of the same era. Only 2,995 Cyclones were built, all in jet black, the only color offered. The model was discontinued after its single year, making it one of the rarest American trucks ever produced. The Cyclone's legacy is the performance truck segment it validated. Its proof that a pickup could deliver genuine sports car performance led directly to the Chevrolet 454 SS, the Ford SVT Lightning, and ultimately the modern Ram TRX and Ford Raptor R. And number 5. Number 4. The Ford F-150 SVT Raptor. Introduced for the 2010 model year, the Raptor was Ford's special vehicle team answer to a simple question. What happens when you build an F-150 specifically for high-speed off-road performance, optimized for conditions like the Baja 1000? The Raptor's track was widened by 7 inches. SVT fitted it with Fox Racing internal bypass shocks, providing 11.2 inches of front suspension travel and 12.1 inches in the rear. The optional 6.2-liter V8 produced 411 horsepower. The first production Raptor sold at auction for $130,000, with all proceeds above MSRP going to charity. The Raptor created a category that had not previously existed: the factory-built, dealer-sold desert performance truck. Every off-road performance pickup that followed, the Ram TRX, the Silverado ZR2, the Sierra AT4X, was built in response to the market the Raptor created. Number 4. 3 trucks left. All three are foundational to the American identity. The next one arrived in 1994 and didn't just save a brand, it changed every truck on the road. Subscribe and drop your number one in the comments right now. Number 3. The 1994 Dodge Ram. Before its redesign, Dodge was selling approximately 79,000 trucks per year, a distant third behind Ford and Chevrolet. In 1994, the completely redesigned Ram arrived with a big rig-inspired front end, a crosshair grille, a massively raised hood line, and an interior that matched passenger car comfort. The response was immediate. Dodge sold 240,000 trucks in 1994. By 1996, that number had risen to 480,000. The design was the result of a direct challenge from Chrysler executive Bob Lutz. When shown the original conservative redesign, chief designer Philip Payne said it looked like a rehash of everyone else's truck. Lutz gave him 6 months to create something better, and the inspiration came from the early 1950s Studebaker pickup and the front ends of modern semi-trucks. The result earned Motor Trend's 1994 Truck of the Year award. The 1994 Ram's influence on the truck market was total. Ford, GM, and Toyota all eventually adopted big rig-inspired design language for their truck lines. The modern full-size pickup, and with its massive grille, raised hood, and car-like interior, is a direct descendant of the design choices Philip Payne made in the late 1980s. The Ram also introduced a level of interior comfort that permanently reshaped buyer expectations. Large center console, storage behind the seats, and eventually heated leather seats by 2000. Features previously exclusive to passenger cars were now available in a work truck. The luxury truck segment traces its origin to choices made inside the 1994 Ram. Number 2. The Ford F-150. Introduced for the 1975 model year, the F-150 was born from regulatory necessity. The Clean Air Act of 1970 established emission standards that applied differently based on gross vehicle weight rating. The existing F-100 had a GVWR of 5,700 pounds. Ford created the F-150 with a GVWR of 6,050 pounds, placing it under the looser standards that applied to heavier trucks. It sold for approximately $4,500. Both the F-100 and F-150 remained available simultaneously through 1983, yet when Ford dropped the F-100 entirely. The F-150 had surpassed its predecessor in every measure. The additional 350 pounds of payload capacity and the emissions exemption had given it a competitive advantage that buyers recognized immediately. The F-150 became the best-selling vehicle in the United States. Not just the best-selling truck, but the best-selling vehicle of any type in any category. It has held that title every year since 1981. Ford sold over 828,000 F-150s in 2025. The truck born from regulatory paperwork became the commercial engine of one of the largest companies in the world. The F-150's 50 years of dominance is not accidental. The aluminum body in 2015, the EcoBoost engine in 2011, and the Super Cab in the late 1970s, each generation absorbed the lessons of the previous one and delivered a truck that working Americans could not find a reason to drive past at the dealership. Number 2. Number 1. The Ford F-Series. Introduced in January 1948, the F-Series was Ford's first purpose-designed, dedicated truck platform following the Second World War. Previous Ford trucks had been built on car-based platforms. The F-Series introduced a dedicated truck frame, a new cab designed specifically for commercial use, and a model range from F1 through F8. The F1, the half-ton entry model, sold 108,000 units in its very first year. The F-Series 1948 launch established the commercial and engineering foundation for every Ford truck on this list. The F-100, number 7, was the F-Series' second generation. The F-150, number 2, was an F-Series variant. The Raptor, number 4, is an F-Series creation. All of them trace their DNA to the truck that rolled out of Dearborn, Michigan in January 1948. The F-Series became America's best-selling truck in 1977. It became the best-selling vehicle of any category in 1981. It has held that title every year since. Over 40 million F-Series trucks have been sold in the United States since 1948. In its peak year, 2004, Ford sold 939,511 F-Series trucks. In 2025, it sold 828,842. The F-Series earned its place at number one not by dominating for one decade, but by defining every decade since 1948. It is the work truck that every other work truck on this list was eventually measured against. It is the benchmark. It is the standard. The Ford F-Series, the most iconic American work truck of all time. Number 1. That's the top 10 most iconic American work trucks of all time. From the Ford Model TT at number 10, the machine that replaced the horse and wagon, to the Ford F-Series at number 1, the foundation that every American truck builder has been measuring against since 1948. 10 trucks, each over a century of American work. Every one of them earned its place on this list. Next video. The top 10 most reliable heavy-duty trucks in America. The trucks that reach 250,000 miles and keep going. Subscribe so you don't miss it, and drop a comment. Which truck on this list do you own, have owned, or wish you owned? Tell us below.